name is Ashley Morales, and joining me today on Impact Catalyst is Siomara Bridges-Mata, Executive Director at the National Alliance on Mental Illness for Pinellas County, or NAMI Pinellas for short. Thank you so much for being here today, Siomara.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm very, very honored to be here with you and excited to share about the great work we're doing at NAMI Pinellas.
So will you tell us a little bit about your mission and how the organization works to change lives here in Pinellas County?
So NAMI has been around for quite some time, Pinellas County affiliate for over 36 years, and we're really dedicated to improving the mental health and quality of life for individuals and families that have been affected by mental health conditions. So as we talk today, you usually hear mental illness, but we use the term mental health conditions interchangeably. So we do that through education, we do that through support and advocacy. And of course, we do that with bringing more awareness to combating the stigma that comes along with mental health and being open and willing to talk about your story so that others will be more open to sharing their stories, but most importantly, seeking out the help to get them through their journey.
And so I know you work in a lot of different ways. What are some of the key programs or initiatives you have to support people experiencing mental health conditions and their families?
One area is our support groups. So we have an array of different support groups for we call them subgroups. So from the Black, Indigenous people of color, we have our Real Talk support group, the LGBTQ plus support group, youth and young adult support group, veteran support group, as well as our connection support group. So that may be for an individual or our family support groups that supports a loved one going through their mental health challenges. And another area of our services is through education. So a little bit different than our support groups where one may be coming just to share, connect, and gather resources. Our education courses go a little bit longer. They're about 6 to 8 weeks, and individual can learn about mental health conditions, how to best support someone through their journey. And that is for individuals or families. And then we have our comprehensive peers in recovery mentorship program that is providing the education courses for individuals or loved ones to become a certified recovery peer specialist. So we offer all those education courses for them to become certified and either get into the workforce of helping others or maintain their position as a peer specialist.
So I'm glad that you mentioned the peer specialist because I know you're looking to grow, specifically aiming to open a peer training space in St. Petersburg. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, so that was, it still remains a goal. We participated in the Fast Pitch program, and through that, we were trying to really get down to the heart of what we do, and it is that education piece. And our Peers in Recovery mentorship program has really skyrocketed. We are servicing not just our jurisdiction, but also partnering with other NAMIs to provide these education courses. So we really wanted to think about a space that we can provide for this ongoing, not just educational, but mentorship. The big piece there is that we're not just getting them through the classes, but we're also mentoring them and supporting them through their application process. So we hope in the near future that we can have our own area where peers can come and get that support they need to become certified and also remain, fresh in their role of being a peer. And that takes ongoing supervision and mentorship and continuing education to be on your game like we all do with professional development.
So I wanted to ask you, why is it so important or just helpful, for others going through this, for not only people who have experienced or do experience mental health conditions, but their friends and family to kind of speak up and tell their stories, because it seems like that's a really important element of what you do.
That is very, very important. I thank you for bringing that up, because often we only think about the individual that is impacted. But when one loved one is impacted, it impacts the entire family. And where do they go for resources? Where do they go to learn how to communicate with their loved one, learn how to best support? Because sometimes we think we're helping, but we may be hurting. So we always say that it does not only impact the individual, it impacts everyone around them. So these support groups are offering that opportunity for not just the individual to get that support, but families to get that support as well. It also makes me think about just not one thing impacts our mental health, and not one thing contributes to the downfall or the challenges that we experience in our mental health. So we also have a information and resource helpline where individuals can call and get connected to different resources that they may need, such as housing, if they need food, professional development, any resource that can indirectly impact their mental health. We're serving as a additional support system to point them in the right direction.
Why is it important to emphasize a health or science-based approach to mental health conditions, especially when it comes to battling that stigma that you talked about that can and does so often go along with mental health conditions?
That's a very powerful question. I know for myself growing up, I experienced different challenges in life, and it caused me to react in a certain way. And it wasn't until I understood the science behind what was happening due to traumatic experiences in my life, where I really understood the power that I have to make a change. It was that scientific way of thinking how the brain works. Sometimes we don't look at that when we're talking about mental health, and we need to know that we are wired differently, and that's what makes us unique and great. But if we just look at it as an outside thing rather than an inward thing, it begins to separate us more than bring us together in understanding, but also bring us to a point of understanding that it is a condition. It is not who I am, and understanding, different ways and wellness tools that help us be more aligned and improve our mental health. And with understanding the science of that, we can now be proactive in supporting our mental health and supporting others through their journey when we look at it through that lens. Is that kind of where you were alluding to with that question?
Absolutely. Well, and I think, tell me if this has been your experience as well, but I think just in my personal experience, anecdotally, it seems like, I feel really hopeful that we're living in a time where these conversations are getting easier to have. There's less stigma attached to them, and it's easier for everyday people to say, yeah, I've gone through this, or yeah, my family member has gone through this. It's not as much in the shadows as I feel like it maybe used to be.
Yes, and I like to agree with that. And we all were in 2020 together. It's no surprise, and that forced us all to hit pause and really look within. And I think that, although it was a very sad period for our world, but it really gave a spotlight on mental health and understanding that it impacts us all. We all have mental health, and then 1 in 5 are affected by a mental health condition. And I'd like to say that that's probably higher, but we aren't yet fully comfortable with seeking out support, or nonetheless being comfortable with speaking openly about our experiences. And the pandemic allowed us to do that. We still have a lot of work to do, But I would say that we're on the right track. So let's continue to bring those conversations to the table.
And so for the folks watching this who want to support NAMI Pinellas, who want to continue bringing that support, and how can they support what you're doing?
Well, our website, of course, NAMI-Pinellas.org is a great way to start. That will list all of our services. But we will be having our comeback walk this year. It's our NAMI Walks Pinellas County event for Mental Health Awareness Month. And it is being hosted on the United Day of Hope, which is Saturday, May 18th. It'll be hosted at England Brothers Park in Pinellas Park, starting at 9 a.m. all the way to 12 p.m. And we will walk together. That is a great way to show the community coming together to show the importance of mental health. And we'll have opportunities for vendor tables. We'll have guest speakers, elected officials present, all joining in efforts of not only just raising funds to keep the programs free for the community, but to raise awareness on the importance of talking about mental health.
That's incredible. So that walk coming up in May, and then in addition to donations, which you can always do on your website, are there any other ways that you would encourage people to get involved or even just kind of make a difference in their daily lives?
Absolutely. If you have a story or know someone that has a story, we are the largest peer-led organization. So what does that mean? Anyone who is leading our support groups, our education courses, we also have presentations that we do. They have a lived experience. So if you're wanting to take your lived experience to the next level, we offer that training for you to become a program leader, a support group facilitator, a presenter with us. So we invite you to join us. And of course, volunteering is always a great way to get involved. We have board positions coming up that'll be open because some of our extraordinary board members will be rolling off. So we're looking to invite new board members to join us. And we have numerous volunteer opportunities as it comes to events and tabling. And our big NAMI Walks event is a big opportunity to volunteer as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Siomara, so much for taking the time to talk with us today. And I'm looking forward to going to the walk. It's going to be great.
Thank you, Ashley, for your time today and your great questions.
Thank you.